Hello, English learners! Today, we're diving into a common idiom that might seem a bit puzzling at first, a drop in the ocean. Imagine Sarah, a new intern, proudly presenting her idea for a small, local charity event to the CEO of a massive international corporation. She finished, beaming, and the CEO, with a kind but slightly amused smile, said, "That's a nice thought, Sarah, but it's just a drop in the ocean for our global initiatives." Sarah, taking his words literally, looked around, wondering if he was talking about an actual drop of water in a vast ocean, feeling quite confused. So, what does a drop in the ocean truly mean? It describes something very small or insignificant when compared to a much larger whole. The idiom suggests that a contribution, effort, or action has little significant impact when considering the overall situation. Its origin is quite literal, referring to the immense size of the ocean compared to a single drop of water, highlighting insignificance. Now, let's see how it's correctly used. Mark wanted to help clean up the beach, but he knew his small bag of trash was just a drop in the ocean compared to all the pollution. His effort, though small, was still a positive step, even if it felt like a tiny contribution to a huge problem. The phrase perfectly captures the feeling of doing something small in the face of something enormous. Here are some example sentences using a drop in the ocean. First, my donation was just a drop in the ocean compared to the millions needed for the charity. This means the donation was very small relative to the total amount. Second, his single protest sign felt like a drop in the ocean against the government's new policy. Here, his action had little impact on the large policy. To remember this idiom, visualize a single, tiny raindrop falling into the vast, endless expanse of the Pacific Ocean. That one drop makes almost no difference to the ocean's volume, perfectly illustrating the idiom's meaning of insignificance. The phrase, "a drop in the ocean," has been used for centuries, reflecting a universal understanding of scale and proportion. It appears in various forms across cultures, highlighting how people everywhere recognize when something is overwhelmingly small. Famous authors like Charles Dickens have used it to emphasize the futility of small efforts against large societal problems. Understanding its cultural context helps us appreciate how deeply ingrained this concept is in English communication. Let's explore some related sayings. Similar idioms include a needle in a haystack, meaning something hard to find, and a grain of sand, also signifying something tiny. Opposite phrases are the tip of the iceberg, meaning a small visible part of a much larger problem, and the straw that broke the camel's back, referring to a final, critical event. Related idioms include small potatoes for something unimportant and a drop in the bucket, which is a direct synonym. Now, let's talk about common mistakes and how to avoid them. A common grammatical error is saying a drop in the ocean instead of simply a drop in the ocean. The correct usage is always a drop in the ocean, implying the larger whole without needing of. Another mistake is using it when something is actually significant. Remember, it's for things that are truly minor. To avoid this, always ask yourself, does this really make a noticeable difference to the bigger picture? If not, then it's a drop in the ocean. Time for a quick quiz to test your understanding. Which sentence correctly uses a drop in the ocean? A. My small contribution was a drop in the ocean for the massive project. B. The huge storm was a drop in the ocean for the city. C. Her brilliant idea was a drop in the ocean for the company's success. The correct answer is A. His small contribution was indeed insignificant for a massive project. In summary, a drop in the ocean means something tiny and insignificant compared to a much larger whole. Understanding this idiom helps you grasp nuances in English and communicate more effectively. It's a powerful way to describe scale and impact in everyday conversations. Now it's your turn. Share in the comments below an example of when something felt like a drop in the ocean in your life. If you enjoyed today's content, please like and follow. See you next time.